Blunt Talk with LT, episode 82. This episode is brought to you by StackWap.com. This episode is also brought to you by Patreon.com/Blunt Talk with LT. Subscribe, become a patron, support the brand, support the show, support the raw, unfiltered, blunt takes, and, subscribe and become a patron. Yes, also subscribe on, the Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Download every episode of Blunt Talk with LT. There's extra shit and extra episodes all throughout the download. So check that out right now, and you'll see all the shit that you missed if you haven't been downloading or listening to the audios, because there's a bunch of bonus clips already on the audio downloads. So go check that out. Also, follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Facebook. The hell? Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on IG at Lyrical Threat LT. If you're trying to send me some music and some beats and some shit, Gmail. Hit that up. And I'm working on some new shit. So I'm trying to get some beats. I'm trying to work with some new producers. So hit me up. We're trying to network out here. What do we got first? All right, we got Kodak Black talking from prison, making some wild remarks. So pretty much Kodak Black says rappers can't make money over the virus, and he hopes it lasts. Because, he's not missing anything. Because he's behind bars, so he hopes it lasts, and he's not. Basically, if he ain't doing well, fuck everybody else. And every other rapper it don't mean shit to him if they ain't eating or they ain't able to perform and do shows, because no one's touring right now. Even if you tried to continue your tour, that shit got DWade by the CDC and all sorts of governments in other countries. Not saying you can't do no international tours right now. You can't do no US tours. You can't do shit right now. So it's like every artist has to bite that bullet and find other ways of keeping the revenue streams going, because a lot of, celebrities and rappers have large bills monthly. So you have to, make sure you make a lot of money to sustain. You don't want that shit to just continue to, roll over and you're not getting all those performance bags, because the majority of the money from most artists come from, not most artists, pretty much I could say all artists, unless you're not a touring act and you're just selling records, which is wild. I don't know anybody that really does that. It's all on the road. It's all tour. The larger your tour, the larger your bag. So, or the larger your shows, the larger the bag. You get a stadium show, charging $200 a ticket and shit out here. And some people like the OVOs and all that shit is ridiculous. So it's like, at the end of the day, you can't do none of that right now until the foreseeable future. We ain't going to see none of that shit till most likely the summer, midsummer. So that's very selfish of him. He's doing like how many years? 4 years? What is Kodak? I'm not even gonna search up his sentence. But at the end of the day, that's selfish. That's not a good way to think. That's I don't know. That's whack as fuck, to be honest, to just think like that. Oh, I can't eat, so fuck everybody else. Whatever. What else do we got here? We got 6ix9ine slated to come out August 2nd due to good behavior. Of course, good behavior. He's been snitching on everybody, so it's like he gets to his release date from now, so he knows August 2nd he's out. At the end of the day, I don't think anybody cares anymore. The whole, where's 6ix9ine gonna go after when he, comes out of jail? He's still gonna have a career. Is anybody gonna take him in on platforms to do interviews? Of course, there's a bunch of up-and-coming interviewers or up-and-coming platforms that are still going to try to get attention. So a 6ix9ine interview will definitely be good for these type of people. But for the most part, I don't think motherfuckers care anymore. I don't think the fans really care anymore. I think people moved on. I feel like most media platforms don't really care to reach out. I feel like all this stuff is coming out, August 2nd, but it's like, who cares? Really and truly. Like, of course, there's motherfuckers in the street that still care, but I don't know. Not like care for his music or whatever, but they want to see him come out so they can see him, most likely. But, that's what happens when you're a snitch. People that don't know you will see you and, slap the shit out of you because you're a snitch. So it is what it is with Snitch 9. I'm not really... Nothing really to report about that guy. I don't really care to bring them up on the podcast topic list. To be real, what else do we got here? Everybody's getting the fucking Rona. With KD and everybody has it now. It's like, holy shit. The Lakers tests are scheduled to come back soon. Hopefully everybody on the Lakers is safe, because Lakers were the last team they played prior to, the Nets players being announced having the Rona. I don't actually say the full name on the podcast anymore, because every time you do, it gets taken over by, their ads and shit trying to inform people, so you don't get actual monetization. And I'm not a specialist or a scientist, so I don't care to actually speak about that and ruin my podcast episodes just over a simple phrase. So that's why, you keep hearing me call it the Rona. I don't know. But a lot of people aren't taking this shit seriously. They believe it's government conspiracy and, power control world organization G5 or 5G network shit causing all sorts of crazy stuff. There's all sorts of conspiracies right now. And to keep it a buck, I'm not feeding into none of them. I don't care about people being skeptic about a situation that people are being diagnosed with. Like, this is not, you could say it's cap. You can say it's fake until the cows come home. People are being diagnosed with it. So at the end of the day, it's out there. People want to talk about the numbers and, it's just a souped up flu. Like, I don't care about none of that shit. Do you want it? No. So at the end of the day, shut up. Like, I don't know, man. This got to stay sanitary at the end of the day, because a lot of people are just exposing the fact that they're not sanitary to begin with, because all this shit that people are promoting is shit that you should have been doing from time. This shouldn't be something new because there's a virus. Sean Payton is tested positive for coronavirus, Saints head coach. Like, I'm getting all sorts of updates as I'm podcasting of people getting, the coronavirus. So, oh shit. Yeah, I'm going to have to edit that shit out. I shouldn't have said that just there. I didn't even want to say that in the pod. Okay, yeah. I'll leave that in, whatever. Todd Gurley released. This is not more updates. I don't know why the Rams would release Todd Gurley. He's 25. He made the Pro Bowl in 2 years. Still has 4 years left on his contract. Yikes. Tom Brady's pretty much saving ESPN and FS1 and all this stuff with the sports news right now, because they had to jump right into football with everything being taken over by, the Rona and all that bullshit. So, yeah, let's transition to something more interesting. Let's get off this stuff. What do we got here? Here we go. Yeah, that's one way to avoid getting sick or avoiding it completely. Going to the largest group possible, be in your personal space, be touching everybody, and be sharing the same water. There's been a bunch of new cases that kind of been reported in that area since that event. Even when they say it's a cold weather thing, like it won't survive the heat and all that crap, at the end of the day, clearly it still touched Florida. It still touched spring break. So people got to be careful with that shit. It's like people want to be skeptics all they want. They want to push a certain narrative. They want to say the government's doing this, the government's doing that. At the end of the day, be clean and be safe in these times. At the end of the day, take precaution. You have your stance at the end of the day, but you're going to get everybody sick by doing your bullshit. And that's pretty much what people are doing right now. Some bullshit. All right, let me get off of this. And okay, so Vic Mensa faces a year in county jail for possession of brass knuckles. What? You get possession of brass knuckles and you do a year? What state is this in? Why is that not in the report? Because that's wild. Like, I don't know why he had the brass knuckles, but at the end of the day, it's brass knuckles. You don't think you're gonna carry around brass knuckles somewhere and you're gonna get a year in jail for brass knuckles. And I'm not like I'm not no like Vic Mensa fan. Like I don't listen to Vic Mensa's music or anything like that. But at the end of the day, it's like who like a year in. Like I feel like sometimes people don't value other individuals' lives, or the court system doesn't value a black life at all. It's like they just throw time at people. It's not like he's convicted for this. This is what he's being charged with. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that case to see if that actually leads anywhere, because that's ridiculous. He needs to lawyer up and get that shit tossed, because like what the fuck? Brass knuckles? What if he just was, I don't know. Like, we don't even know the reasoning behind any of this or why he even had it. It's not like he was caught doing an assault or any type of crime. So a year, I don't know. We'll see. All right, what else do we got here? Roger Mayweather died. Floyd Mayweather's uncle, trainer, former championship boxer, 72-13 record. He died at 58. I don't know. They don't list the reasons or why he died, but he was struggling with health problems for a while. Like he had diabetes and shit. But Roger Mayweather was definitely one of the better trainers in all of boxing. Like whenever Floyd would train with his father and he would train with Roger, but I feel like his camps with Roger, sometimes he would come out super sharp defensively. Like I feel like when he trained with his father, he had more of an offensive like mindset and offensive like attacking force, but it's like he was more offensive I felt like when he trained with his father. When he's training with Roger, it's not that he's not offensive, but his defense was just, he seemed like he took more priority in making sure that he wasn't hit with no wild blows or anything. He was just sound defensively. For me, Roger Mayweather was a better boxer, well, the best boxer out of the Mayweather family until Floyd Mayweather Jr. came around. Because I watched his fight with Sugar Ray Leonard. I watched Floyd Sr.'s fight with Sugar Ray Leonard as well. Didn't go too well with Floyd Sr. But at the end of the day, like I knew, like Roger Mayweather was a sound boxer. He was a championship boxer for a reason, but he was a sound boxer. I liked his style. I didn't get to see all of his fights because it was an era before mine. I seen all Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s fights, but that's because he's my era. It's a different type of shit. But at the end of the day, I still went and looked back and watched his fight. Definitely a great champion. R.I.P. Roger Mayweather. Nothing but respect. What else do we got here? I'm not gonna spend too much time on this. Okay, so we have Bernie Sanders embarrassing himself in a video, losing a one-on-one fade to a fucking speed bag. Like how do you lose the fade to the speed bag? It's a speed bag. Now that's like, I don't know, man. You don't want, like, at the end of the day, everybody, like, his policies, he's way better policy-wise than Biden. Biden doesn't look like he stands for anything that anybody stands for. It doesn't seem like Biden's an option that can beat Trump, but, like, look at this video. This is ridiculous, man. Like, what is that? That's the biggest problem with Bernie. He's not, like, presidential. He's, like, old man, he has that curmudgeon drip with him. Like, he's just not that guy. He's not really, he doesn't have presidential drip. He doesn't step in the office like Obama. He's not that type of captivating presidential, like, I don't even know. Like, Trump's not presidential, but at the end of the day, Trump still has this whole boss swag about him when it comes to, like, he's obviously an owner of things. He's a billionaire. He still has more of, like, this, I don't know. There's just something different when it comes to Trump opposed to just like seeing him as a figurehead. But at the end of the day, policies. People want Bernie in there. The main point of this wasn't to debate Bernie and Trump and all these guys. It was really just to laugh at Bernie failing with the speed bag. So here it is one more time. Get Bernie failing with that. And yeah, nothing much today. Not much to talk about in this Blunt Talk episode, to be quite honest. What else do we got here? Okay, so this is beyond ridiculous. This whole challenge that people are doing where they're just licking nasty things and putting their mouth nasty places to see if they contract the virus and shit. Like, I don't understand why this became a thing, but this Prince Z guy got in on it, and this shit is gross. Like, public transit, my nigga, like, really? You're gonna be licking public transit shit like that? Like, it doesn't get any filthier than that. Even if you don't get the Rona, you're getting something else that's filthy. And you're putting yourself the risk of the herpes and all that filthiness, like, unless you already have it, and that's why you don't care because you're nasty. I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know who does that, why you would do that. I don't know why or where people got the idea. I don't know. Whatever, moving on. We got, Dr. Umar Johnson. Very weird abundance of videos that's coming out on social media with this guy. Weird clips. For you to be an educator, a teacher, someone that has to demand a certain amount of profundity and type of stature that you're supposed to have, a lot of this shit that he comes out with is just like, what is this, my nigga? Like, okay, let me play this video.
So, let's get into it. Any ladies in town for the training want to accompany the Prince to the Cheesecake Factory tonight? Any White Plains queens want to go out on a date with the Prince? Free date tonight to the Cheesecake Factory? Let's get into it.
Okay, so why are you soliciting a date on IG Live with these girls in this area where you're supposed to do some sort of speech for black empowerment or whatever the fuck you're doing? The Cheesecake Factory, my nigga, free date. So you're gonna ask someone to go on a date and they're expected to pay. What do you mean free date? And who, like, this is just like, what is this guy doing? Like, you're not, what are you doing? Like, I feel like everybody wants to be a part of the same shit where they can do whatever the fuck they want to do on social media and act a fool, but then demand some sort of respect as whatever title they want to go as. Like, you want to be doing all these forward movement things, and you want to say, oh, you can't sleep with you can't be a black voice or a black anything leader in the community, and then be with a white woman, and then pictures of him pop up with a white woman wearing the same thing he was saying in the video, talking down on people that were with white women. He's single at the moment, so he says, but at the end of the day, it's like, who the fuck cares? And it's like, I don't know, this nigga's wild. A lot of wild shit coming out with Dr. Umar Johnson. To me, like, I'm all for black empowerment, so I'm not going to completely shoot down everything he does. A lot of shit's wild, ridiculous, and taking advantage of people, but it is what it is. If you're going to be subjected and taken advantage of by him, then that's just you not being educated or just not doing the homework enough to actually, not get hoodwinked, because he's taking donations and disrespecting people. I reacted to a video about that earlier on my podcast on another episode, but it is what it is. What else do we got here? Pretty sure I have something else to react to video-wise before I get off the podcast. Okay, so I wanted to get this DWade reaction from this girl. It's been blowing up. It's been around for like a couple weeks now, and it's still growing, this girl's opinion, and it's just been out there. So let me just play that real quick on the podcast.
Oh, these motherfuckers is tripping. Now, I see everybody talking about this, but I don't see nobody saying what really needs to be fucking said. So listen up. Now, first things first. This is a 12-year-old boy. 12. He probably doesn't even order his food when they go out to eat. He probably changes what he wants to be when he gets older every 5 seconds. He might not even be into girls yet, if that's what he gonna be into. My point is, he is not old enough or mature enough to decide whether he wants to switch genders or not. That is a life-changing decision. He hasn't even experienced manhood yet. And you telling me he's ready to be a woman? If my son would have woke up to me and say that shit, I'm not taking no bullshit-ass excuse like, I want to live my truth. No, little nigga, you need to live your life as a boy, because that's what the fuck you are. Now, that's my initial response. But after that, I'm going to tell him you need to go to counseling. Because obviously you think something is wrong if you don't want to be a boy anymore. Now, I know this may upset some of you. You might think it's homophobic, transphobic, gender, whatever the fuck, phobic. But the truth hurts sometimes, my nigga, and this shit needs to be said. I cannot sit back no longer and allow y'all to enable this bullshit. If someone is sick, you give them medicine. If someone is an alcoholic, you take them to treatment. If someone is on drugs, you take the drugs away. But if somebody is born with gender dysphoria or think they were born in the wrong gender, you enable them to continue to think that? Or wouldn't it make sense to get them help? And I get it. DWade was trying to do what most parents want to do, which is the best thing for their child. You want to support them, be non-judgmental, be there for them. I get it. But this is not support. This is enabling. This is supporting mental illness. I bet you if he got up and said, "Ruff, ruff, daddy, I want to be a dog," he would not be on Ellen talking about some goddamn supportive parenting. He would have been like, "Nigga, you ain't no goddamn dog. Let's go. What you talking about?"
It's facts. At the end of the day, I never really wanted to talk about DWade and how he does his parenting and his family and how he, tells his son to be. But I didn't want to get involved in any of that shit. But when you really take it in, it's like you brought it to the media. You're doing all these morning shows, trying to shove it in everybody's face the way you think and your views or whatever. And it's like you're kind of trying to have this spin on it and try to popularize this ideology and trying to make this the standard. So when people speak out about it, it's because they don't want it to be the normal standard. They don't want this to be the norm. They don't want this to be the approach that people take and take the leads of their children instead of being responsible parents. So I understand these people's perspectives, like, girls like her that make videos and others that make videos going against DWade and how he's conducting himself with these interviews and this whole transgender issue. So to me, I'm more on the side of somebody like her in her opinion about it, but it is what it is, to be honest. I'm not telling anybody how to parent their kids. It's just the messaging. That's what I don't like, the messaging, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of people that are influenced by these social leaders and celebrities. So you got to control your messaging and be responsible with your platform. What else do we got here? I think I'm wrapping it up. Pretty sloppy episode, to be quite honest. A lot of editing to go into this bitch. A lot of shit that shouldn't have been said. Probably be left in for the Patreon episode. That's probably the smarter way to go. Yeah. Blunt Talk with LT, episode 82. We back at it. Yep.